Well, tributes are flowing in this morning for one of the most influential names in music who's passed away at the age of 94. Clive Davis. He discovered Whitney Houston and helped shape the careers of people like Bruce Springsteen, Janis Joplin, Billy Joel, Aretha Franklin, Alicia Keys, so many more. Richard Wilkins is with me now. I mean, Dickie, that was quite the roll call there of
plenty more
careers
as
that were
well.
influenced. No surprise they called him the man with the golden ears.
You certainly had that, yeah. You may not know the name Clive Davis, but you certainly know these songs and the artists that he mentored. You know, he started out at Harvard Law School, bright guy, was hired by Columbia Records as their legal counsel. Columbia didn't have that many rock acts at the time, but he did such a good job of renegotiating Bob Dylan's deal that they said, okay, well, you should be, you know, doing a little more than this. He became president, attended famously the Monterey Pop Festival, and saw this whole new breed of acts coming along, signed Santana, signed Janis Joplin, and then, of course, Springsteen and Billy Joel and countless others. He had great ears, which is, of course, the industry term for he could pick a hit song, pick a hit artist, and he sure did that over and over and over again.
You had a bit to do with Clive Davis yourself over the years.
Well, not that much. He didn't spot my talent. but yeah, of course, I met him at his party. He had an annual party on the eve of the Grammy Awards, which I was fortunate enough to attend a couple of times. I met him with Carlos Santana, who I've had a bit to do with over the years. You know, the thing about Clive is he was one of those people you just knew as Clive. You know, everyone in the business knew Clive. Everyone was in awe of Clive. He carried such a lot of weight. He was just a little guy, but he packed a big punch, and he was so respected by everybody in the business. And to be in his company was to be in the presence of, you know, rock and roll showbiz royalty.
Well, he must have seen a lot over the years and had some stories to tell.
I'm sure he did. You know, probably Whitney, I think, was his greatest triumph. If you had to pick one, he signed her at the age of 19 in 1983, and her debut album stands tall still as the biggest selling debut by a solo artist in history. Her second album was the first to be at #1 and #2, or to be at #1 in the UK and the US by a female artist. So, yeah, Whitney Houston was probably his greatest triumph, I suppose. A sad irony was that she passed away at the Beverly Hilton Hotel on the day of his pre-Grammy party, which was held on the eve of the Grammy Awards. So it was a full circle, sadly, for Clive Davis and Whitney Houston.
A pretty amazing legacy. How do you think that Hollywood and the music industry as a whole will be remembering Clive Davis?
Well, the industry will remember him as one of the greats. We, the punters, will remember him through the music that he created, which we'll be hearing plenty of today, tomorrow, and over the rest of our lives. I think he was truly a great man with the best ears in the business.
Yeah, incredible legacy. Dickie, great to see you.
Thank you.
Sarah.
What a legacy, hey? Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Dickie.